the veteran Oath Keepers and a number of groups have called me and said, and VFW veterans saying that, we're getting veterans calling us here in the office for legal help just today.
Wow.
So, something about veterans, but the Department of Homeland Security released those extremist memos. Veterans were listed as extremists by the Department of Homeland Security. I mean, we all know that have studied the subject.
That's right. Just because they're a veteran, they're bad. Just period. It's like they're the number one threat. The DHS memos that we broke because police gave them. Yeah.
People that oppose abortion were listed in that. So I mean, anybody that opposes governmental. I mean, it's the same thing I opened the show with. Oppositional defiant disorder. Anybody that defies authority is considered psychotic. Essentially.
Anybody who's a man and can't be run over, they're scared. The criminals that have hijacked this country are scared to death of the veterans, period. They want to use the troops against us with the Inde Posse Comitatus, but it's a double-edged sword. They know it cuts both ways. They saw what happened to Hitler and Ceausescu.
Well, Thomas Jefferson and Thomas Paine would have been put away in civil commitment by the British. That's my opinion.
Amazing. In the minute and a half we have left, we'll obviously get updates this Sunday or sometime next week from you, sir. But any other tidbits that are important?
Well, Brandon is arrived at home. He's been through quite an ordeal. We are looking into what he wants to do next. I'm advising a civil lawsuit against the government for damages. We need to hold him accountable somehow. But, again, it's very difficult going through the federal court system because they give almost every police officer what's called qualified immunity. In other words, even though they may violate your rights, there's nothing you can do about it virtually. The Supreme Court has upheld that on numerous occasions. As I say in America, generally the courts are courts of order, not courts of justice. Occasionally, you'll find a good judge like we did in the Brandon Raub case who has intestinal fortitude to rule the other way, but it's not easy. I think our biggest hope is getting Congress to investigate these simple commitments.
I tell you what, you may have to do another interview, but if not, I want to hold you 5 more minutes ahead of Richard Belzer to have you finish up that point about solutions, how we stop this. We'll see if he can come back. Well, Homeland Security has openly said that veterans are the #1 enemy above al-Qaeda that the Pentagon publicly runs in Libya and Syria. And, of course, state police and a federal marshal sent me 2 different documents, 4 years ago now, that broke that nationally. We have the head and founder of the Rutherford Institute, Rutherford.org, constitutional lawyer John W. Whitehead. Got about 3-4 minutes left with him ahead of TV star, movie star Richard Belzer, joining us with his new political book dealing with government cover-ups. In fact, where's my copy? I took my copy home. I need one out of the warehouse. Yeah, because I actually went and read the whole thing like I said I was going to do. We sold out of them? Oh, no, but more is coming. More. Okay. Well, it's okay. The point is he's coming on with us to talk about his new book. Just in 3 minutes finishing up here, John, you were getting into solutions and ways to fight back for those that just joined us. They're now all over the country grabbing veterans. The police and FBI are, for no reason, talk show hosts as well, and dragging them off to mental institutions if they criticize government basically in any way. This is Soviet Union. I mean, they should all be arrested. It's just we've gotten so accustomed to this. How do we fight back?
Well, like I said, people, you need to call your congressman. We need a national investigation. They need to form a subcommittee. We need a law protecting us against what's called civil commitment. This is what happened to Brandon Raub. There's no way. The police need to do their job. They shouldn't be showing up at your house without an arrest warrant, without a search warrant, and telling you you've committed no crime and taking you away. So we need that. I think Americans need to get down to even their local city councils, their state governments, and picket. And we need a national movement. Martin Luther King changed the face of the country because he got African Americans out in the streets. They got defiant. And what he said was, and this is key, you have to make the government use energy. So he said, lay down, sit down, get your picket signs. Turn off the television set, folks. Get up off your butt and do something. Most people I know are worried about Brad Pitt's latest marriage or whatever. I don't even listen to any of that crap anymore. And that's what they want. They want you to be distracted. So we're moving into an Orwellian state. The only way you can fight it, in my opinion, is you're going to have to get active politically. And I'm not talking about voting for Obama or Romney. To me, the corporate state is here. You were talking about going into a pizza place and they're giving information to the government. We live in a corporate surveillance state. The corporations are working with the government. It's a very dangerous scenario. So the only thing you can do is you've got to force your representatives to do an investigation in this matter. We need to know what the FBI is doing. They won't tell us. So it's a secret government. You obviously live in a secret government when you can't find out what they're doing, and they show up at your door at midnight and take you away to a mental institution.
Well, I like the fact that you made the point that there's nowhere to run. We've got to fight. We're cornered. It's just like the Marines when they were surrounded in North Korea 10-1. And the general said, good, we're surrounded, and now we can attack in any direction. And that is actually, when you're down, when you're surrounded, is when you're at your strongest, because now there's no playing games. And our enemy has no moral high ground and is doing everything illegal. We've got to stand up and not let them chill us. I mean, no doubt they're doing this now because they know this country's on the verge of bringing them to justice, and they want a chilling effect.
Listen, a couple years, you're going to see drones over your towns and cities, over your streets. They're going to be equipped with scanning devices to look through the walls of your home. You're having sex, using the bathroom, whatever you're doing. There's going to be absolutely no privacy unless we slow it down. Privacy is dead. The Fourth Amendment is dead.
That's right. And we only get it back by admitting it's dead. America is dead. Freedom is dead. These people stole it, but liberty isn't like a person. It can be resurrected like the phoenix. We must breathe life into it with our energy. Mr. Whitehead, thank you for the time.
Thank you, sir.
All right, amazing. We'll talk to him more maybe Sunday if there's developments, or Monday. But there, folks, Paul Watson's on this right now at Infowars.com. There is a sweep nationwide grabbing veterans who criticize government. 9/11 truthers, you name it, and they're being thrown in mental institutions. I mean, honorably discharged with jobs, no criminal record, no psychiatric history. The government is pure evil. We'll be right back. Well, he joined us last week along with Christopher Walken, and we had to cut the interview a bit short because we're at the end of the show, and I had to air an exclusive Dave Mustaine interview. Talk about an amazing, beautiful celebrity train wreck covering real issues. I loved it. Dave Mustaine talking about staged government shootings. Richard Belzer, author, researcher, TV star, movie star, talking about his new book, Dead Wrong, that's selling out in bookstores around the country. Forward by Jesse Ventura, talking about straight facts on the country's most controversial cover-ups. We had a whole bunch of these and sold out of them. We have a truckload of them coming to us right now, so it's still in the shopping cart, but Dead Wrong did sell out. I did read the whole book. I'd only read part of it by the time Richard got on. Amazing. It just covers scores of admitted cover-ups with documents and photos and murders of people and how they frame patsies. This is exciting. And he got censored when he was basically kicked off, I guess, whenever he was on, the guy with the phone hacking scandal from England that's on CNN that nobody watches. The point is, he was on Piers Morgan's show. And he's on with us now. We're trying to get his video Skype turned on. If he can't do it, it's not a big deal. We'll go with his image. And, of course, I don't know if Christopher Walken's going to show up and sit in his lap again. You know, they're comedians, and a lot of the 14-year-olds on YouTube had a lot of fun with that. That's very, very interesting. But we're gonna talk about a lot of serious issues with Richard Belzer here today. By the way, you know that in the gun-free victim disarmament zone of New York, somebody in a employment dispute shot someone, and now Bloomberg's having to admit it looks like the cop shot the other 7 people, including the shooter, in their adrenaline-fueled rush. They'll probably charge the people for assaulting them. You know, when the cops beat you with a baton now in many cities, if you raise your hand to block it or even curl up in a ball, that's resisting. And I think all 7 people the cops shot, I think all of them should be charged with assaulting the police officer's bullet. Because you know now, I'm not joking, when a police dog attacks you and bites you, if you kick it back or anything, that's assault on an officer. Even though the statutes don't say it, the juries don't know. They're going to send you to prison. You think I'm joking? Look it up. So I think they should charge, kind of like when Cheney shot that Austin lawyer and with a shotgun here in Texas, and the man apologized to Cheney, even though he was behind Cheney and Cheney was in the wrong. I think in the spirit of North Korea and worshiping big government, I think that they should all apologize. They should all apologize immediately to the police for being shot, and they should all be arrested. And they should be guillotined by the government without a trial. I mean, we're getting rid of trials anyways. They should be sent to mental institutions on the moon. Of course, I'm being a little sarcastic here with some satire, but this is very, 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 very serious and dark straits that we're in. 19 people shot in the victim disarmament zone of Chicago last night as well. So we've got big reports on all of those fronts coming up here in just a moment. And guys, I'm going to make an executive call here. Let's just put Richard Belzer up with audio here. We're gonna sing the night away here and just kind of run into that wall. All righty, ladies and gentlemen. Again, Alex Jones here on the syndicated worldwide transmission. And we are joined by, again, after last week's incredible visit, Richard Belzer with David Wayne, afterward by Jesse Ventura, Dead Wrong, Straight Facts on the country's most controversial cover-ups. And I just want to thank you for the great interview last week. I didn't even introduce you properly, but everybody knows who you are, TV show host and, I mean, you know, star of television, film, you name it, now an author. But to have Christopher Walken pop in, that was amazing.
Oh, yeah. Well, you know, it was funny because you were trying to ask him about his worldview. And he's one of the few, he's the only person I know on the planet who's really off the grid. You know, people say they're off the grid. He's not on a Google map. I hope that doesn't make them look for him. But no, he's maybe the coolest guy I know. And I know a lot of cool people, including you. Alex, by the way, thank you. After I did your show last week, my book just took off. And I'm so grateful because I feel a civic responsibility on this book, not just, you know, that it's a book. But I would imagine the fact that you did a bunch of other interviews in CNN helped it as well. But we do have an audience that's hungry for this type of info, and they did snap up all our copies in a matter of hours. Wow, that's great. Thank you, Alex. We got to continue this fight. You know, talking about what happened in New York, I love your analogy of these people should be mentally evaluated for getting in the way of the bullets. Yes. Our government is capable of cooking up something like that. I don't know if you've ever read this book. It's called Propaganda by Edward Bernays. Yes, yes, I did read that. I made a film about it. Oh, great. I'll have to find that because exactly what you're talking about is the government's utter contempt for the people. And they're so out in the open now about what their intentions are that it's really stunning. Because in the past, all this was done behind closed doors and literally in darkened rooms with 5 guys and cigars. That was a cliche for a reason. But now they're just like in our face, and it's pretty chilling. It's like they're just taking the gloves off and almost daring us to be real Americans. Yes, I mean, now the choice is very, very clear. Yeah, we're spying on you without warrants. Yeah, we torture people's kids in front of them. Yeah, we tortured people that are patsies that we're having a military trial for, and even if the trial doesn't find them guilty, the president can keep them in jail. I mean, it's just kangaroo world, kangaroo court in our face. Why do you think the ruling class is acting like this? I mean, will they start, you know, fiddling while Rome burns? What's coming next? Well, that's a good question. I think that we all make a mistake, myself included, in thinking that there's a big grand plan. I think they've already won, Alex. I mean, for 100 years they lied us into World War I. They've lied us into every war. World War II, everyone I think can agree that was necessary. I mean, it's almost a cliche to say that was. There's no such thing as a good war, but that was a necessary reaction to us being attacked and the Nazis, and that we can all understand. But every other war, we were lied to.